Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. A lot of people might do this on January 1st, but I like to break the mold and go off the beaten path. So that's why I'm here a few days later, because New Year's isn't a day, it's a mindset. Right. Anyway, I figure the start of a new year is as good a time as any to do a life update video of sorts. And there is a chance that this year might actually contain some pretty big life changes, and not in the New Year's resolution kind of way of let's go to the gym more or eat healthier food, which are definitely good things to do, don't get me wrong, but are more in the vein of stereotypical resolutions. This is more opportunities that might present themselves, be possible, and we have to decide if we want to go out of our comfort zone and do something we've never done before, and we'll see. I don't want to overpromise because a lot of this will be out of our control, and we might get to the end of the year and everyone will be like, yeah, so what happened to those things you were talking about earlier? Why didn't you do them? And I'll be like, well, there was a lot to think about. Anyway, I'll get more into that in a moment. But first off, this past year, this channel had the least amount of videos uploaded to it of any year since I started the channel. And I'm not proud of that. But fortunately, I do think that this year will present a lot more opportunity to make videos. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I can obviously upload whenever I want, and there are some levels of self-doubt involved at this point, which kind of sucks, and I try to self-reflect on that is this a good enough idea to merit posting on this channel? And I overthink it a lot more now than I used to, because I'm like, oh, well, I could just do this as a stream and upload it on the second channel, so how can I really justify posting it on here if it's not significantly different from something that could be done over there? So that's a whole different conversation. But with Hytale coming out like within a week at this point, which is pretty exciting, I think that could present an opportunity for some content. I'm definitely planning to play it. I don't actually know how much interest there is going to be. I think because there is so much hype for Hytale, it can honestly sort of only underperform in terms of how many people are going to watch the videos, whereas Minecraft in its really, really early days, not a lot of people knew what it was. There were far less people who were making videos as a whole. And so therefore, I think it had more of this ability to expand significantly and get more people watching versus everybody on day one is going to be playing Hytale out the gate. And so therefore, I think it's just going to be an overload of content. It's good for the game and generating sales, but in terms of people out there on YouTube who are thinking, I'm going to upload Hytale and it's going to do banger numbers, I'm not sure that's actually how it's going to play out. But that said, I still plan to play it, and I hope it'll be a fun game, and that's happening really soon. And then on top of that, it's funny actually, last year, there was supposed to be at least a one-off little return to Minecraft. And now that that didn't happen last year, maybe it will happen this coming year. I can give you a little bit more background on this one, okay? Let me show you this video here. It's called Minecraft Hunger Games. You'll notice that the upload date on this video is June 6th, 2025. So this video has been ready for a very, very long time. But the thing is, it was part of a group event. And the organizers, they're editing a video of said group event. This video has been getting edited for a very, 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 very long time. Every couple of months, I'll send a little message being like, so hey, any idea on when I can make this video live? And it'll be like, it's still being edited. So maybe sometime this year, there could be a little return to Minecraft with this video, or who knows? I actually, at this point, don't rule out if there was something really, really cool with Minecraft that I thought would make an amazing main channel video. Minecraft gameplay. Of course, music videos are always a future possibility, but as far as gameplay, like, it could happen. I don't know. The other big thing that I was alluding to earlier is the possibility of a big move to another country. And if that were to actually materialize, then like there is a lot of content that could happen for something like that. And it's just a matter of, like I said, a lot of that is out of our control because of visas and actually being allowed to move to another country. And then beyond that, it's like, obviously you got to decide you want to actually take the plunge, go out of your comfort zone and do it, even if presented the opportunity. And I think that if it works out, if the visa stuff is feasible, there is a good chance we actually will go through with it. Obviously, there's a lot of work to be done. We have to sell basically everything. And to be clear, part of the plan this year was very likely to be selling the house again, selling another house. I know, classic Jordan move, but I've grown so weary of home ownership and all the maintenance that goes with it. And obviously, you could say that I have been distinctly unlucky with what I have had to go through, but I've just found that because I'm such a perfectionist and I need to make sure everything is in good working order so it prevents, damage from piling up that becomes a bigger problem down the road, it occupies so much of my headspace that it prevents me from doing a lot of other things that I want to do. Like a lot of projects that I could work on and dedicate more time to, I just find myself going, no. I gotta take care of this house thing, or I'm worrying about future things that might happen, and it just cloudies my mind. And I think I've come to the conclusion I'm not cut out for home ownership. And I guess it took one final home to get to that decision, because this place, it had the absolute dream garage, and one that was just really, it didn't exist at this price point. And so it was like, holy crap, this is incredible. This is kind of the thing that I've always wanted. And even despite that, I find myself going, no, even with like the perfect set of amenities, it's just, I don't think it's for me. And maybe it took me one additional experience to finally learn that, that it would have most people. Maybe people might have been like, yeah, on the last house, I would have thrown in the towel. But I guess I'm a little stubborn in that sense. So it's kind of like, if we're already planning to do that sort of move, why not just try something really, really drastically different? And it would also, there's a part of me that, and I've said this in a video before, it seems like it would be really freeing to have just a completely clean slate. You own nothing and get to just completely build from scratch in a new place. There's always a chance that it really doesn't work out. You don't really enjoy living in this new place and you end up coming back. It's totally possible, but at least that experience will have happened. And I can say that I've done it versus kind of staying in my own little bubble. I've never lived outside of 90 miles of where I was born. And obviously that is the case for a lot of people all over the world. Many people stay very close to where they were born, but I do have a bit of a unique opportunity to do this from literally anywhere. And it honestly feels like not taking advantage of that at some point in my life would be a bit of a wasted opportunity. But there's still, getting out of your comfort zone, certainly. So we have a trip planned to go to Japan later in the year. That'll be first time there. But could be interest in a visa, possibly beforehand. Who knows? Again, like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. There's a very, very cool racetrack country club is probably the way I would phrase it, that is just outside of Tokyo, and planning to take a tour while I'm there. The videos that I have seen of it, in fact, there's a lot of really, really highly viewed content that I've seen going up on Instagram just over the past few weeks because they just had an event. And it would be very cool to be able to drive there. I don't think I'll be able to drive there when touring it, but if it ever moved further beyond that, it would be pretty epic stuff. Imagine the content, right? Imagine the content. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because so much of that is also just completely out of our control. But there may be some content opportunities this year, is all I kind of mean to say. Funny enough, I think the hardest part of going forward with a move like this is that selling everything means selling the George GT. And I know it's an inanimate object, but we have an emotional connection. It was like 10 years ago that they unveiled the car, and I remember waiting, refreshing in my browser to see what was being unveiled at the Detroit Auto Show. and like, oh my God, this is the new Ford GT, to applying for it, traveling out to Toronto to take a look at it as it was being built, having it for almost 8 years at this point. It's a long history, man. Honestly, I'm not sure if it'll be more difficult to sell than usual, just because it does have that more recognizable connection to me. So I don't know if people are going to say, I don't know if I want people thinking I'm this weird YouTuber guy when I'm driving the car around. Although I have taken very, very good care of it, to be clear. But if you do see it for sale at some point in the next year and you're like, oh my God, is that the Ford GT? Is he selling it? Then it would be because I am going to a new country. Although it would be very, very sad. And I will actually, to be clear, I will miss the garage part of this new house a lot. It is really, really incredibly cool. And there will be a tour at some point if we do move. But it's just, again, this house is going to be in such amazing shape for whoever has it next. All of the infrastructure and the things that actually matter with the house are going to be so locked down and taken care of. It's the things that you don't really think about until they actually present a problem. So maybe they won't even think about it. It'll just be like, oh, the house works normally. But it takes a lot of work to get those to be in the proper place if there are issues with them. And so that's the thing that sucks, is just moving into a place and then all you think about and spend time on for the next year and a half is, how do I get everything up to be perfect and take care of the things that weren't disclosed by the previous owners. And then you get it to that point and then someone else gets to enjoy it. So that part of it feels bad, man. But what can you do besides throw your hands up and learn for the next time? It's funny though, like a month or two ago, I got sent this clip a couple times of this podcast that had this fancy realtor guy on it. And he said in the podcast, homeownership is just a never-ending battle against water. And I was just like, I've never felt so seen in my life. That's what I've always said. All you're doing is fighting against water. Water is just slowly always trying to destroy you, and water always wins in the end. All you can do is just put down extra safeguards in place that hopefully hold up for a certain amount of time before the water wins again. And that's homeownership in a nutshell. Anyway, new year. We got Hytale. We got maybe Minecraft, maybe moving to a new country. Even if we didn't end up moving to a new country, there's still a good chance of selling the house and going back to renting. And then the possibilities are truly endless. I mean, look, I should say, if there is one thing that I have learned over the last decade, it's that you always identify a moment at which, okay, once this thing is done, then I'm going to be able to be freed up to do so many things. And rarely does it work out that cleanly. You always end up then having a bunch of other stuff that pops up. So even if we sell the house and go back to renting, like, there's a good chance, oh, this and this and this and this are all going to show up. And it's going to be like, man, I was going to be so productive. And then all these things got in the way. And then it ends up not working out quite the way you foresee it. So who knows how the year will go. If I could predict the future, I'd be out there winning lotteries. So then a lot of stuff wouldn't necessarily matter. But in any case, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll get some good videos out over the next year. Maybe some more than last year. That's the goal. Not a terribly difficult goal to meet. So I hope we can do it. And I will see you in the next one, which may be a Hytale episode 1, possibly. Unless I get a message that, hey, you're clear to let that Hunger Games video go live between now and Hytale coming out. So we'll see. I'll catch you next time.